Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The sun has got its best dress on today. We are back up at Wanmore Reserve to see Elizabeth take on Adelaide University. I will be joined in commentary today by Oshin. Oshin, I'm really sorry. I spent the whole time practicing your first name, and your surname has completely gone out the window.
That's okay. That's the easy one to do.
Yeah, Heaney.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the easy part.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Northern Irish gentleman with us, so apologies in advance if you don't get exactly what he's saying.
I can say anything and no one will understand me at all.
Do you have two accents? Do you have like a home accent and an accent for here?
No, it's much more fun watching them guess. I have had every country on the planet at this point.
If you're listening to me, I mean, I will understand him. I'm quite good with them, but so if you hear me laughing randomly, it's because he said something funny. Just trust me, he said something funny. We're looking forward to today. Hey, I had a look at the table today. I think it's really interesting. So Onca Paringa are taking on Burnside today, and I think that's the game that most Elizabeth fans will be keeping an eye on. Because if Onca Paringa lose today,
which is likely, given how good
possible,
given how good Burnside is,
and if they lose closely, and you get a bonus point, you potentially, you go third, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, what you want is a draw.
Yeah, if they get a draw, and
if you get a draw and you get a bonus point win, you end up in second.
Yeah, and all of that is possible. Like it's
not impossible, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely not guaranteed either way, but it's certainly possible.
Because if we have a look at the last week, 39-7 Burnside got up over Port Adelaide. Onca Paringa had an easy day out, really, against Adelaide University, and they played a lot of their youngsters, so they'll be fresh today. The Mildura mob. I like alliteration. The Mildura mob. Are they in town today?
Always. They love it out here.
Yeah. So it's unlike last year where you had the difficulty with the border and things like that. This year they're going to be fairly. Yeah, they're going to be fairly consistent this year.
They've already been much more consistent. Having them out to act as this constant supplement to the team is nothing short of amazing, really. They're truly taking on the whole team spirit. Because we still have to beat the league out of them, but
beat the league out of them. I like it. So 19 degrees and sunny, wind 28 kilometres an hour, which is coming basically directly at our camera position. And there's an edge on it, isn't there, Ashina?
There is wind chill going on here.
It feels like a British summer.
Yes, that is the best description I've heard for it today. Yes.
But we're wrapped up over here at our commentary table. We're waiting for the teams to come out. But what's the feeling at Elizabeth Rugby Club right now? Because I know that the rugby club is a proud rugby club. I used to work up here, and I remember there was a big flag out when they got back into playing Premier Grade. And you've been up and down a little bit with regards your ability to get out a decent first team regularly. But now here we are in 2022, and we're talking about the possibility of you ending up second with 7 rounds gone. I mean, we're not I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm just flicking through.
I think
it's about
19.
16, 17. So we're nearly halfway through. There we go. 18
rounds.
So we're not a million miles away from half.
I think at this point there's a little bit of shock of, is this really happening? But it's also making sure we all don't let it go to our heads, and we all just don't, woohoo, we're in second, we are now the best ever.
I mean, we're not in second yet, but you're in the four and you're in the conversation.
Yeah, we're still in that top round. Now, thankfully, we had Burnside or Brighton early on to help us remind us what the top teams still look like, and we have Burnside next week. That'll, if we've gotten cocky, that'll help fix that.
Yeah, so just going through your results, 50 points to 10 loss against Brighton in round 1.
Yeah.
Round 2,
still trying to figure out our position.
Round 2, you you put a statement down against Port Adelaide, 59 points to 26. A loss to South.
Yes, we were surprised by that one.
In round 3.
We let ourselves go with that one.
And then you sort of go on a march. 38 points to 22 against Onkaparinga, 48 points to 14 against Woodville. Another big win last week, 43 points to 27 against last year's grand finalists, Old Collegians.
Yes,
and now
that one was very special for all of us.
And now you welcome Adelaide University, who are coming off the back of fairly sound beating by Onkaparinga last week. They're 71 points to 10. They're in a very much still in a building phase, Adelaide University.
Yeah.
So
I think they should probably follow with Barossa and do a third seconds.
A university. I mean, I like that they're here. You learn
they won't,
from
because they want that Premier League push.
I mean, I've talked about Barossa
they're still
sort of off air.
Yeah.
I do wonder whether you can promote somebody halfway through the season, because they're ripping up that reserve grade, Barossa.
Yeah. I've seen the results. It's very one-sided for them.
But winning is fun wherever you're doing it.
Yeah.
So we are just waiting for the teams to come out.
Yep.
I think Brett absolutely loves us. It's his third week in a row with on camera.
Oh yeah,
young Brett, one of the officials.
Everybody loves being on camera, don't they?
It's the best place to be. Although I'm not really dressed for a camera today because I'm so rubbed up.
Well, that wind chill is going through us.
It is, and it's so open up here, isn't it? It's so flat and open up here. The wind I think comes directly from the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, it's not like Old Coles where it's surrounded on all sides.
If we have a look as well at lineups, we've got most of them. We're only missing one. A front row of James Hamill, Holani Fatai, and Vilzi Fonua for Elizabeth. Will take on Max Musselred, Nick Henry, and one of our many name withheld.
That's probably me.
That's the other side. So you're in charge of the Elizabeth.
Yeah, I keep pressing buttons and I don't know what they do. So I'm name withheld as well.
Well, it says name withheld on that one. So the second rows are Luke Siddle and Jared Reed for Elizabeth, and then George Karakatisios and Simon Redfern for Adelaide University. So Simon Redfern last week had a half and half beard. So half his face was shaved, half was a full beard, and it was dyed red. He does like to mix it up. So he's been challenged this week, as he's got 2 weeks running, to see whether he can come up with something different or whether we're still going with it. The back row, we've got name withheld number 23, Apasai Navu Oru, and Joshua Tikaduadua is the back row for Elizabeth. God, they're going to test me. And the back row for Adelaide Uni is Perendar, Kaelin Dowdle, and William Siao. I think I did get a pronunciation for Kaelin, so if I can get that again, that would be lovely, whether it's Doodle or Dowdle. That would be great. The halfbacks, Sean Dickerson and Dylan Scully for Elizabeth. Matt Mooney and Ben Thomas will link up together for the university. In the centres, Valame Namumu will link up with Fatafehi, and we'll go with that for now, and he'll be taking on Rafe Liebers and Tyler Bastian. That's going to be an interesting battle in the centres, that one, I think, between Rafe Liebers and the Fijian centre pairing, and the back three for Elizabeth of Selasa, Bola and Susu. They are going to cause a lot of teams this trouble this year. And James Agnes, name withheld, and Axel Sonnenberg will be the back three for Elizabeth. So it's certainly going to be an interesting afternoon. And if you like open rugby and open running rugby, then get yourself comfortable, get your favourite beverage. The sun is definitely past the yard arm, so the option for beverages are completely open. But sit back and relax and get ready for 80 minutes of what hopefully will be some tries being scored. So Elizabeth will start us away and Thomas will restart. Good contestable start.
Missed the catch.
The first knock on. I think both Elizabeth players missed it completely.
Knock on anyway.
So it'll be a knock-on and an Elizabeth scrum. And we saw last time we were up here 2 weeks ago, Joss Tickadua off the back of the scrum will cause some problems for people.
Laddie will. He always does.
So our first scrum of the day. Thomas with the feed. Referee just stamping his authority nice and early. No messing around in the front row. I think last week one of the areas of concern for Adelaide Uni was the scrum set piece.
Scrums have always been difficult for us. We're a very back-heavy club, so having me out with an injury takes away one of our very few props.
It's a solid start, and there it does.
Oh,
go.
There he goes.
Tickadua do it.
What a fantastic name.
Into the centres, the wraparound. Now the 2-on-2 out here, just steps inside. Rafe Liebers will come over and make the tackle.
Gully throwing it out there.
Now we're looking into midfield, and missed tackles are going to be an absolute issue for Adelaide University. They're not afraid to offload as well in midfield. Elizabeth?
Yeah. The
University ball.
Love that flowing ball.
Well, we talked about
keep it moving.
We talked about it last time we were up here, that from a coaching point of view, as far as trying to coach Fijians around structure, I think it's almost impossible at times, because when they get going, just the spirit of rugby takes over.
They do, and it's, if you do not get a perfect tackle on them straight away, you're not bringing them down. They will go through three of you.
So Matt Mooney with his kicking is going to have to be incredibly accurate today.
Agreed.
You cannot give them an easy counter attack.
That's a good strong scrum right there.
So there is Mooney, and that's probably about as good as it's going to get if that bounces in and then kicks on, which it does.
Oh,
well,
that was a kick and a half.
That is that a 40-22? He put his flag up.
Yeah, his flag's up.
Where's he going? It's going to be an Adelaide throw-in.
Yeah, it's an Adelaide throw-in if ever there was one.
How
many metres is that?
Take a bow, Matt Mooney. He's not listening to me. Not even a little smile. I tried to catch his attention.
That is an all-work face right there.
It was. People who are regular viewers to the stream will know that I am a connoisseur of kicking, and that is about as good as I've seen in South Australian rugby.
Scrum. Did we miss something?
Well, that is an interesting one. Why have we gone to a scrum? We'll see whether we can... Do you get a choice on a 40-22?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Or a 50-22? Well, we're going to be asking... Facebook's going to have to come to our rescue again. The scrum in a very good position for Adelaide University.
That is a quality position. It's probably just me, and I do prefer line-outs. So that's probably why I would have picked the line-up. But
Mooney
scrum.
into midfield to Liebers.
Oh, can't stop in front of the Fijians.
They'll
put you down.
Stop. Little bit of a messy breakdown, cleaned up by Mooney.
Oh.
Now they will look to this near side. Karakitsiosis will work into the midfield, and they will look to that far side, and then just another little bit knock on, and just nervy hands from Adelaide University so far.
Russian there.
Phil. If you kick a 50-22, you got a choice. Line out or scrum. Why was that a scrum? We're being told that, yeah, you do get the choice of a line out and a scrum after a 50-22.
To be honest, it's probably just such a good kick that they're just like, we're really impressed. Have your choice.
Yeah, do what you want. So Elizabeth from within their own 22, and another little nervy knock on.
It's still very much pop off rather than put it down for the ruck.
And that's what I mean. I mean, most coaches there would want you to reset that ball and then
That's
look
what
to clear
we
your
tried
lines.
to train.
I'm sure you tried.
Yeah, we tried to train that down here.
Hey, I tell you what, Facebook now has got automatic subtitles, and it's doing really well with you. I'm quite pleased with. It's
Well, that's
picking
good to
you
know.
up quite. It's picking you up quite well.
Well, given that Facebook is based in Dublin, we're bound to have a few people with Irish accents working this thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be the subtitle person, would you?
True.
So Uni with a scrum in a good position again.
Elizabeth just need to calm down.
I mean, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it before kickoff, but is complacency an issue today? I mean, you would have looked at this one and looked at the scores against Uni throughout the last couple of weeks and thought, well, this is probably going to be a time that we can, really take the reins off. Mooney out the back to Sonnenberg.
I don't want to be that guy, but yes, it definitely would have been a thought. Now, I don't think the Fijians can be complacent.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, a quick line-out. I mean,
That was not. We mostly let the Fijians do their own lineouts,
and then a penalty bang in front, which you would think that James Agnes will wander towards.
and they're taking the points.
And I tell you what, if you sat down this morning and you said to yourself, who's going to take the lead first in this one? Probably wouldn't have been Adelaide University, but it's entirely self-inflicted by Elizabeth at the moment.
That lineout,
Quick line out just outside your 22 just doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me at the moment. So I did see as well, Simon Redfern walked towards us. There was no red in the beard, but it certainly looked like there was something going on. There was some kind of special facial hair. Flags stay down, so it'll be a 22 dropout, and we stay 0-0 on the Vonnex scoreboard. We must change that logo.
That was unlucky. That really should have been 3 points right there.
There is Redfern. It's gone backwards.
Very lucky there, very lucky.
In midfield to Mooney. Mooney just looked on the outside, nothing really there in the chase. Finally got there from Elizabeth, but Uni are set up. There was an issue last week, them not getting past the gain line. Getting two and just over the gain line. Better from University.
Much better.
Now they're going to look to wrap around the corner. Mussered, and he's fairly isolated. Gets out to Agnes. Agnes does his job. Arm came out. It's going to be another penalty.
Yep. Offside.
Yep.
Doesn't seem complacency was the issue, but excitement.
Potentially, yeah. It's an interesting one. I mean, discipline. I know I talked to some of the coaching staff last time I was up here about the discipline of Elizabeth, and it was just little penalties, offside penalties, and they kind of let Woodville come back into the game somewhat just by committing too many penalties.
Yeah.
I think they ended up with 2 off at one point, one for numerous penalties in the red zone, numerous offsides.
Yeah.
No compete in the lineup. Ball is a Barnes Wallace into midfield, and
if he's going to do that, Sally coming in there,
will find a way through. And I think this is going to be the big difference between Elizabeth and
just that physicality right
just
there,
well over the gain line. And it was something we saw last week that if University could keep them on or behind the gain line, they were okay. As soon as that gain line is breached and Uni is scrambling, they do tend to have issues. There's a hole. Can they make the tackle? He does make the tackle. Penalty. And that's probably
Not rolling away.
a little bit better of a result, but they're off again. Out on that far side, just short, gets the offload away.
There it is.
Arm goes up, try is scored. And Elizabeth do get on the board early. And first, 10 minutes gone. Can't quite see who the try scorer was.
Number 12, I think.
I'm sure we'll find out at some point. It's got Jason Hyam over in. Is he still in South Africa or is he back? I think he's still stuck.
Stuck in South Africa.
In South Africa, so he's.
They really like him over there. So I think the polite way to put it.
The try was scored. We're just watching our replay. I do appreciate that there's a slight delay. I still don't quite know who it was. I'm sure we'll get a result.
It'll be in the record somewhere.
Well, yes. I mean, everyone will have forgotten who the first try scorer is by the end of the day.
Ooh.
That's on its way. It looks good from where we are, but the flags stay down. So just 5-0 early doors. We're being told it was the number 15 who scored, which is Susu.
RP.
I was going to say I'd be surprised if Matt Mooney didn't go left. I mean, you can see the shadows on the pitch, and they're only going to get longer, so it's going to be challenging.
Really want to use
this kickoff. Mooney, high, good, contestable, and as we saw last week,
that was
they
a
will get
contest
up. Rafe
in the air.
Levers does contest, and University have managed to come down with it. Redfern does get beyond the gain line.
Oof.
Dowdle trying to find a way through. The pink headband.
Careful, that was clearly a tip.
Didn't win the contact though. Redfern again down that far narrow side. Again, good and beyond the gain line.
Tackle.
Dowdle again. Mussered just takes it back to the safety of his support. Thomas, Mooney, out the back to Sonnenberg, and it just floated. Said it's gone back. There is Liebers trying to find a way down the outside. Dealt with by two Elizabeth defenders. Thomas will get there again. Dowdle again is absolutely rocked, and I think he was rocked after the last tackle. He was slow to get up after his last tackle, so the last thing he wants is to have that as well.
Still slow. Nope, they're taking him off.
Have we seen a blue card issued?
I don't think it's a blue card. I think they've put it to the side to
get some treatment.
Yeah.
University are wandering slowly towards him.
I don't see a whole lot of medical bag, unless they're just having him sit there until. Well, there's sub coming on, so
they are making a replacement. So there is an interesting one.
Yeah. Looks like a blue. It was a blue card. No. Yes. Sure. No.
Well, a blue card will write him out for the rest of the day.
But something tells me he's trying to fight it.
But if they've decided that he's not fit enough to stay on the park,
if the ref has pulled him off to the side, which happened,
you would suggest then that is a blue card.
I would.
I think he was in an unfortunate position, and anybody who listens to me knows that I want to see high contact out of the game, but he was falling.
Yeah, there's clearly
There's no malice, but I mean, at the end of the day, any forceful contact to the head and neck, I think, should be at least a yellow. I know he was falling, but that doesn't mitigate
what happened.
It doesn't mitigate the Anyway, Liebers. Next break and play, we'll talk about it. But Liebers will take it into this near side. Loud blast on the whistle, and another penalty for hands in the ruck. And again, these penalties are starting to mount up for Elizabeth.
It's poor discipline from Elizabeth.
And it's another red zone penalty for them.
Going in for another line out there.
I mean, I've only seen it live.
He's not, but I didn't. There's been no card.
I think we might talk about that at half time as well.
Look, manager's brought on a card.
So it's just a replacement at the moment.
It's just a regular tactical
replacement.
I
think we'll talk about half time because I'm a bit bemused by all of that, to be perfectly frank. Uni are very, very close. They're in the shadows of the Elizabeth goal line.
Elizabeth's going to have to hold if they want to keep that. Oh,
Williams, see how there goes Liebers, and he doesn't quite get over there. They've kept him out again.
Oh, unfortunate pass.
Just at the feet of
another penalty. No, knock on. Scrum to Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's just Karakitsios. It was thrown right at his bootlaces and he couldn't quite pick it up. At half-time I might go out and have a chat with the officials and just find out what has gone on with that. I am my flabber is gasted. So Elizabeth at scrum, 5 metres out. Good shot from Unia, but there's a big hole there.
Hold that scrum. Oh,
did very, very well, Liebers. Now they're away, and the pass just doesn't quite go to hand. I tell you what, there'll be some frustration on the benches of Elizabeth, the Elizabeth coach, who still has a somewhat fine head of hair. I'm assuming that's going to change if he continues to coach.
His beard isn't grey yet. Let's wait till the end of the match and then it should be.
Certainly looks a little bit thinner on top than he did at the beginning of the season. So the knock on, and Uni will have a scrum. 5 metres in from touch, just outside the 22. Rafe Liebers really has started this game like he means to win.
Yes, he has. Adelaide Uni have a very secure scrum.
Delivery from the back of the scrum again, just not exactly what they need or want. Plenty of support there for Liebers. Big blast again, this time sealing off. There has to be a message come out from the. There has to be a message come from the sideline. He can't be too far away from having a chat.
Yeah, like how many is that now? 4, just in this area alone.
Liebers again, out into midfield to Bastain. And we'll come back in field. Our unnamed warrior over on the far side, but this time it is turned over. Counter-attack Elizabeth.
Dylan Scully
challenge again. Liebers again getting his name called. Half break there, the offload off the ground. Now they have got numbers on this side. Got a little bit of a 2-on-1. The 2-on-1 is there.
Elizabeth.
Now they're away. It's all about pace. Can he beat the last two? Yes, he can. Has
Joshua.
Support.
Go on, Joshua. Go on, Joshua.
No, he does not need them. And Boller will go over.
Oh, that was an amazing run.
So that turnover happened on the 22, on Elizabeth's 22.
On Elizabeth 22.
And as we said, open field, broken field rugby is the bread and butter of Elizabeth in 2020.
That is truly where we are taking our victories. If you don't have every gap sealed, they find the way through.
You can't let them go, and even if they'd made that tackle, there was 3 or 4 on inside support.
Yeah.
Bollard trusted himself and went. He has walking back a little bit proppy, but he is coming back.
That's a very fun limp.
He's got strapping on that left knee, which is the one that he's limping on, so we shall keep an eye on that. Now Mumu will look to add on the conversion.
Best of luck to him.
Good start. Have you got the legs? Not quite.
The distance.
The wind is going to be tricky as far as kicking goes today.
Yeah. If you're gonna, this wind is strong, so you need to put some extra power into it.
And Boller has basically gone 20 from his own 22, and then it was just pure pace.
Fantastic. I do. Let's touch one to Luke's.
So Thomas will take over the restart duties.
Oh, have they nodded it?
Thomas. Deep what Liebers again. That one came off his head and has ended up in Elizabeth hands.
Good catch by Luke Seidel.
The loop again and they're out again.
That was a gap. You cannot
one
leave
in and
something
one out.
that big. There
Chooses
he goes.
the inside.
There he goes.
Sonnenberg comes back, makes a tackle. Great tackle from Sonnenberg. How's the defence coming back from
They
University?
just let him pick it
so
up.
far, so good. And a knock
on by Elizabeth.
Take
That's
a bow,
ridiculous.
Axel Sonnenberg. That was incredible from the young man. Where's it come from? It's come from a long way back, Axel Sonnenberg. Wonderful tackle, and then the little knock on, so Adelaide
Fantastic
University
tackle.
will get the scrum. They can clear, they're well within the 22, so again, we've talked about it, there's no margin for error for the kickers. Thomas has gone back. Have we lost Matt Mooney?
I don't see him.
I think we might have lost Matt Mooney.
Because that's Ben Thomas taking the kick.
Yeah, it looks like Ben Thomas has gone, so they can go from here if they want to, and
That's a big throw.
do. Away again, the ball will bounce kindly. Come right across the park. Dylan
And then
Scully.
they've run right back into us.
A lot of running for not much forward gain. The
Oh!
offload again.
Unlucky. Forward pass.
To the forward pass, but that just shows how difficult it can be. So there's been a change at half. Well, it would appear, as far as I can see, that Matt Mooney has gone. Matt Mooney has been taken off. So Thomas has gone into 10, and we have a replacement halfback. Let's see whether we can find out who that is. I think there's been a fairly decent reshuffle. I think it's Alex Sonnenberg has gone into 9. Agnes comes off his wing, and he's a big bullocking winger at times. Oh, just too far in front. But they were nearly there. Nearly got there.
And that's it out to
So
touch.
Paul Blaze has come on, wearing the number 23 jersey. Looks like he's gone to... Can't quite work out where he's gone to yet.
We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it looks like Bastain might have gone back to full-back. Blaze has gone to outside centre. So there was a big shuffle around, and also Elizabeth are going to look to make a change early on as well. 25 minutes gone on the scoreboard. Uni have made 2 changes. That's not straight. Oh, penalty.
Oh,
Well, that
talking to the ref.
does not
That's
help.
not good.
He still looks fairly stoic and calm, though, the Elizabeth coach. Hasn't lost his rag completely just yet. But I reckon we're well into double figures on the penalty count for Elizabeth.
I'd say so.
And a little knock on from Elizabeth as well, so it'll be at a
knock.
university scrum. So there is a change happening, and it looks like a front row change.
Yes. It's Paulie on for Jimmy.
Paul Lediav is making his way onto the ground.
This should hopefully provide some needed support for that front row.
So it will be an Adelaide University scrum. If you are just joining us, 10 points to nil, 2 tries, no conversions. And it's been fairly even, Machine.
It has. It's been surprisingly even. If Elizabeth could stop making so many unnecessary mistakes.
It's discipline. Discipline
Yeah.
is a big story of this first
Yeah.
half for Elizabeth. As Liebers again will try and find a way through. Stole an extra couple of yards, Liebers. Arm is out again. I think that's going to be another penalty. Little knock on there. So yes, it is another penalty. I am genuinely, I was going to say, I'd be genuinely surprised if he doesn't talk to somebody now. Especially after the last penalty being for
He's talking to someone
back.
now.
So he's gone to the captain now. And I think the message will be, next
your
one
last
down
one.
here,
Yeah.
they will go.
Yeah. And then, to be honest, I can't even argue with it. It's just been constant.
I don't know whether anybody is on the sideline counting, or, certainly through the week. I know that you will see it. They do get the statistics sent to the coaches throughout the week. So, be really interested to see what the penalty count in the first half is.
Agreed.
I mean, I can't really remember a penalty going against Adelaide University.
No. Even when they have had the ball, it's been Elizabeth giving away those unforced errors.
Again, an interesting decision by University to take the scrum.
Well,
Fairly
they've been
central,
very
22 metres out.
They've been very secure in the scrum, and it takes out 8 players.
And Rafe Liebers in the 12 spot has had some.
Oh, he's been doing fantastic today. He's been making the Mildura boys work.
Sonnenberg.
Oh,
This is Liebers.
unlucky.
The delivery from the back
Unlucky.
of the scrum. Right, so if you're talking about the story of the first half, certainly from a Elizabeth point of view, it's been the discipline or lack thereof for University. The delivery off the back of the scrum has
It's
been
been
ordinary.
a tale of poor passing.
Certainly, I mean, from a coaching point of view, and certainly having played first 5 in my career, you've got to be standing closer to your halfback by this point. You have to make that decision
Yeah.
because nothing has gone to hand.
Yeah.
Big blindside for University, and Agnes has already shown that he has some pace and power. Little knock on at the back. It was one against the head by Elizabeth, but then they couldn't finish it off.
See, as I said, Adelaide Uni have been real dominant in the scrums.
They'll get a second bite at it. Agnes now is moving over to the open side.
There's
They're
still
leaving the blind side
A
free.
lot of distance.
I mean, they've got
Between
15, 20 metres to work in on this near side. We did talk about it. If you go as a blindside winger that early, the winger's
which is
sort of stuck
completely
between.
abandoned.
Yeah, so the winger is stuck between a rock and a hard place now. Because if he goes to cover him, it's free for the back row, and if he doesn't, there's now an overlap. There's an open overlap. Sonnenberg just couldn't get it
and
away.
they just let him through. There we go. There's the tackle.
Does find a little bit of a gap, Sonnenberg. Over the gain line again. Tried to offload in the tackle. Probably not the best decision that he's ever made. Now the offload doesn't go to hand. Another knock on, and another knock on in the 22. So Elizabeth, they're keeping it interesting, aren't they?
That's a very polite way of putting that. see, he's still very league, still very offload the ball when you get tackled.
See the reins are off Mr. Hyam as well. He's being rather tongue-in-cheek watching the game. Considering he's a former referee educator, he should know better.
Yeah. He should.
So Sonnenberg will feed again.
Can he get the pass off this time?
That's
There's
better.
the pass.
And it does feel like it's gone a little bit closer. Blaze trying to find a way through, just manages to recycle. Henry trying to find a way through. Sonnenberg out to Thomas. Thomas trying to find a way around the outside, not quite there. Sonnenberg again and again, the delivery just not there, but
he slips through anyway.
Dar managed to clean it up, tidy it up. Token counter ruck from the Northman. University putting some good phases together, and if you've got hands on a penalty for not releasing
it.
Tell you what, they got away with that one.
They did.
I tell you what, this first half has absolutely flown by. Just over 7 minutes to go.
This is quite the competition.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that this is what either team were expecting when they woke up this morning, and that's going to bounce and find its way to Elizabeth hands. It could work out for them. We've seen what they're like with broken field rugby. So they're in the 22. Looks like there's absolutely no thoughts of clearing lines. Nobody in the pocket. Tikadua loses it forward. And again, all of the issues and all of the pressure that Elizabeth are under is all self-inflicted. Nobody went back into the pocket. There was no thoughts of clearing at that point, and then handling error puts them right back under the pump.
No disrespect to Adelaide Uni, but I think their reputation is working for them right now. As we've expected such an easy match.
It's always a difficult one.
We've decided that we don't need to do the basics.
I'm not entirely sure that basics is a word in the Elizabeth vocabulary this year.
Yeah, we'll just skip to the hard stuff. Oh, fantastic scrum.
It's not a terrible pickup at the back as well. Matthew Hume trying to find a way through in this short side. Sonnenberg, short ball. Karatsios.
Jared Reid got him down. Take him down, Jared. There you go.
Not much of a gain from him. Thomas. Lieber's ran inside. Thomas will spin out of one tackle and then met strongly. Just a little bit of handbags going on in the backfield. Just a little bit of a discussion over facial hair. Facial care routines. Simon Redfern just real recycle. I think if we had a possession graph, it would be certainly in favour of Adelaide University in this first half. And a territory graph.
The score really does not reflect.
Try and find a way through.
Who should be winning?
There was room on the left side. Thomas. Sorry, that's not Thomas. That was Hume again. All very compact from Adelaide University. Again, they will find the way to ground, and they're inside the 22 again. Try before half-time.
A lot of luck.
Try before half-time would do the world for the confidence of Adelaide Uni. Dar looks for the offload. It does find its way into the hands of Xiao.
I was very lucky right there.
Redfern. Sonnenberg. Thomas.
Oh,
man and ball. He could do a doer. Managed to get there.
Oh,
we're still going.
Get him, Sally.
Still going again. Finally, Adelaide University will fall on it. Tyler Bastain, another penalty, just sealing it off.
Yeah.
I think they'll get away with that, and they'll remain at 15 just for where it is.
That was a long stretch without penalties there.
Tell you what, Tikadua got there at the same time as the pass.
Yeah.
And either he's offside or that pass is ordinary. One of the two. This time Thomas has decided that he is going to look to touch. And he makes it. It's probably one of the most difficult kicks in rugby, right from midfield.
That was a good kick.
Had the wind behind you, and you just have to sacrifice all distance just to get it into touch.
Try not to hit the expensive camera equipment, though.
Might get to see exactly what Simon Redfern has done. He's got the swirl again, I think, going on, which is impressive considering one complete side of his face was shaved last week. So there was a suggestion that it may not have been straight. Elizabeth shifting it along the line. Blaze will send it out, but again they've lost
tackle down the corner.
10 metres from the line-up. Sonnenberg will find Hume. Sonnenberg again. Again will go to the comfort of his forwards. Hands on from Elizabeth. Sealing off. Straight off his feet.
Far too many of these happening.
I mean, I don't think I've seen this many penalties in the first half of South Australian rugby.
Our discipline wasn't even this bad at the start of the year. We've been continuously getting better.
Well, they're potentially away again. Agnes does very, very well just to shut down his space completely. Tikadua into midfield.
Oh, someone
there's a missed tackle.
Do not
it's
pass
where
it
the
off.
support runners are.
And they just left, and there we go.
Just didn't quite
Sally
bring him down where they needed to. Now they've got broken field rugby. Now they get the offload away.
There it is.
It's all about the final tackle, and this time he'll step out of it. And Mumu will add to Elizabeth's tally, and you have to say that is against the run of play. But we talked early on about how accurate and how good your kicking have to be. That came from a missed penalty touch kick.
Adelaide Uni have really been doing a very good job holding on to the ball, but that, if you're not perfectly ready to retrieve,
and that's it. I mean, if you think about it, as we are right in the shadows of half time, if you think about it, that's the first time we've looked left in probably around 15 minutes.
True.
The flags go up, and
conversion.
17 points to nil as we approach half time. And Uni have got to be devastated by that.
Yeah, that was truly impressive rugby.
It's broken field rugby, and I think as soon as you kick into that back three and don't find touch and allow them to run at you,
as soon as they've got that momentum,
you're in trouble. And one missed tackle will put you in a world of trouble against this Elizabeth side. So Thomas again.
Elizabeth really are running on a large amount of individual talent. That's what lets them do the broken field rugby. Oh,
if they can get them, if you can get a little bit of basic rugby out of them, that one will find its way into touch, and it will be an Adelaide University lineup. But if you could get a little bit of basic rugby out of them, I think you would see a very, very dangerous Elizabeth side. So we've got another replacement for Elizabeth. There is Daniel Healy coming on, who has a shirt that is altogether too big for him.
Massively so. To be fair, he also makes the 9 shirt look big, so.
That is,
that is
poor.
Very poor.
That happened right in front of us. It didn't really affect play, so another big shot comes in. Tell you what, University will drive back along the Northern Expressway knowing that they've been involved in a game today. At least some bumps and bruises for the men in black.
Oh yeah.
Thomas, short ball.
The Mildura boys
will find
are
Levers.
More than willing to put a tackle
Levers
in.
Again, and he's someone who's going to take a fair bit of punishment today.
Oh.
William Seo.
Fantastic Sally.
I think there's been one or two with them just getting isolated and not releasing, but certainly the scales are tipped way against Elizabeth as far as the penalty count goes.
Yes. But when they stop,
so he's going to tap it and go into touch. So that will be half time. I've got a lot of things to find out, so we're going to leave as soon as we can, and we'll come back a little bit earlier if we can. 17 points to 0, Elizabeth's way. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We did get news from the trenches.
Oh, goody.
I didn't actually manage to get anywhere near the Elizabeth bench. Caelan Darrow will be blue carded by Adelaide University. The referees didn't feel like it was blue card worthy, and Matt Mooney is a groin.
Oh,
so he's done for the day. Yep. So injury-wise, not a great start for Adelaide University. But I did speak to one of their coaches, and they are in it. And one of the message was, find touch with your kicks, make sure that it goes out, which is a fairly simplistic one against this Elizabeth back three. And stay in it, stay supporting each other. They feel like they're in it, which they are.
They are definitely still in this game.
I did ask the question about delivery from the back of a set piece and the back of a ruck as well. Wobbly old kick towards the touchline. Good take. Tried to bundle him into touch, and then just by the hair on his head, he'll go into touch, and Adelaide University will get the line up.
That was by the thinnest of margins there.
There was, and whenever I see a gang tackle into touch, I'm always reminded there was a very famous decision by an English referee. I think it was in one of the finals, where he managed to find a law. They've gone again. They're away again. Short ball, and here come Elizabeth. The big shirt not slowing him down at all. Last man will make the tackle. Gets the offload away though, and they're still going.
It was just pass after pass after pass.
Loads of space over on this near side.
Oh,
couple of forwards in there, but it doesn't matter. But the offload will find Elizabeth go, and then early, less than a minute on the clock in the second half, and Elizabeth get points on the board again.
That play out wide was fantastic.
It's just, there's so little you can do once they get going. I mean, and University did wonderful work to get the line-up, win the line-up, then they were bundled into touch, and in the blink of an eye, they're underneath the posts.
I wonder if the tea's going to come out anytime soon. Here goes our superhero.
I think as well, you're talking about the University, and they have spent a long time camped in the 22, and I think they were one penalty away from having an extra player.
They were, yeah.
The University Elizabeth just managed to dodge that bullet. Kick is up. Kick is good.
There are the flags.
He was impressively fast as well, Daniel Healy.
Daniel is one of our best players by far. That is not an exaggeration.
The parachute that he's wearing didn't slow him down sufficiently.
It is very large. Why did they put him in such a big...
They've not got a small shirt. I feel like we need to fix this for young Daniel. If there's any tailors out there who can sort that out by next week,
just tie it in the knot behind him.
It's kind of what needs to be done. Could probably make
another fantastic
shirt
kick
from the material you take out of it. Though, in fairness. Well, Elizabeth are away again. Uni just happy to give up possession and try and defend. Toko Maata trying to find a way through. Again, that arm just comes free and looks for an offload. Every time Navarro tries to make half a break, that arm, you see it come free. It snakes loose and looks for support runners.
But he's got that height that he can literally just pass over everybody's head. Oh, look.
Elizabeth again trying to find a way through midfield. Goes again and again, he gets the offload away.
Unlucky.
We were in line with that, and I think he's been a hard done by. It's right in front of our camera as well, so I think you'll get a good look at it.
Oh, that could really go either way, couldn't it?
I think if we had a TMO, it would have been allowed if it had gone on to lead to a score. So, University scrum. It looks like there's been a little bit of a swap around as well. Dylan Scully has come out to this near side wing, so it looks like there's been a change at first 5-8.
What would appear?
Sonnenberg again.
Oh,
just missed the
again,
target.
more poor deliveries.
And he's come. He was definitely closer to him. That's got to be personal work for Sonnenberg.
I think we know what next week's training sessions are going to be about.
Well, like I said, he's got to work on that on his own. That's it. Going to be him, a ball and a post, I think.
Agreed. Whereas Elizabeth are going to be beaten over their head for all the penalties they're giving away.
And you can't train that either. That's personal responsibility.
Agreed.
I mean, there's no need to push the envelope from a disciplinary point of view for Elizabeth. Trust that you're going to get the opportunities throughout the day. Sonnenberg to Thomas.
There we
to
go.
Levers,
That's better
to
passing.
Blaze. Blaze will just ship it on. Bastain will offload
great tackle
to Thomas. Thomas trying to find a way through. There was a lazy high one again there. Yeah, but he got it. There's no release. Well, they're going to go back to an original penalty, it looks like. And that's what I'm saying. There's absolutely no need. If that's an offside... No, it's another high one.
It's a high tackle over there.
I mean, again, we talked about it. I remember that World Rugby came out and said any high contact is a red, and it was refereed exactly to that line initially in the Northern Hemisphere, and teams were losing 2 or 3 players early on, every week. Red cards were coming out, and it just killed it. It killed the high contact. Again, he's going to look to get those arms free. Manages to wriggle away through, and he's still looking for that offload. I think part of the problem is you only then try and cover the offload. I'll tell you what, that was right in that danger zone of an interception, and it was safe. A little bit of afters again, and again from a discipline point of view. Elizabeth are treading the fine line. It'll be Adelaide University.
Passes.
Yeah, there was nothing malicious in what Liebers did, but the follow-up from Elizabeth certainly didn't look too friendly. Bouncing ball into midfield and another handling error, and now they've
lost it and
got on it. Elizabeth now looking to punish the handling error in midfield, and punish it they do.
And that
over they go.
If you're just going to give them free space like that.
Tucker Ma'ata will go underneath the post, and again broken field rugby working very, very well for Elizabeth.
If you're going to give them space and not pass the ball properly, they're going to punish you.
The offloads and the continuity, and that probably starts again with the delivery from the back of the scrum from Sonnenberg.
You just cannot allow these Fijian boys to have that freedom of movement. You have to keep that ball secure and in your own hands.
So Daniel Healy from directly in front will try and tack on the extras.
Should be an easy enough kick for him.
So you haven't been reading up on the commentators' cars.
No.
If he pulls this, it's entirely your fault. Flags go up though. It would have taken a bit to miss it.
It would have taken quite a bit to miss it.
But I've seen them missed.
There's always someone. I wouldn't have been able to make that.
Slightly slower to make their way back to halfway this time. Adelaide University. This is where the wheels could fall off somewhat for them.
They need to keep their heads up. That was a fluke of fate. And they just know that they can't let it happen again.
So Thomas will restart again. See whether they had any old Uncle Paringa. As per
Happy, that was
Rugby
unnecessary.
Explorer, 22 points to 19 up over Burnside at the moment.
Uncle Pringle beaten Burnside.
It would appear so at the moment.
I would not have called that.
Contestable restart. The knock on by
Luke Seidel.
Elizabeth straight into the eye of William Xiao. Souths and Old Collegians drawing at the moment. Port Adelaide, of course, have the bye. So, interesting one, and the one that the people had the eyes on. Interestingly enough,
It's only 3 points though.
you'd potentially go up above Burnside. Burnside would drop below you if they lose today. They're on the equal points with
Uncle Pringle, they are. That is a very important match, and it is a lot closer than I was initially expecting.
Thomas inside to Liebers. Liebers just trying to find a way through the midfield. Does well to hold his feet until the support can get there. Thomas to Xiao. Has a couple of bites at it. Over on that far side. Comes infield to Redfern. Has it knocked out but manages to regather. But then there is a little knock on.
Let's see if Elizabeth can't make some use out of this scrum.
I tell you what, though, looking at that Onka Paringa game, the draw could be up.
A draw would be fantastic.
It's certainly what you would want.
How much time to go?
So Elizabeth will put into the scrum.
Oh, big push by Adelaide Uni.
Penalty.
Big push.
Driving up from Adelaide University, so Elizabeth will have the penalty. This is where the captain needs to get hold of the ball just to stop the impetuousness of the Islanders.
Agreed. Oh, Daniel's going to take the kick.
Elizabeth lineouts, I have to say, for both teams, the lineouts have not been a highlight of today.
No. Normally we would have the Mildura boys running their own lineup, but we seem to be inserting some of the Elizabeth guys into this one as well. Oh,
Yeah, it didn't
That
look very
was-
straight from where I was. I don't think
correct.
I've seen many thrown in straight today.
lineouts have not been a great showing today.
No, and it will be another university scrum. It's come in fits and starts, this game. We've had
Yeah.
huge amounts of,
And then
not a huge amount happening, and then there'll just be this explosion of running rugby, and then we settle back down.
Well, this settled rugby certainly favours Adelaide University, doesn't it?
Thomas to Blaze. Stops and recycles. Sonnenberg. Stolen during the tackle.
Well done, Sally.
Over to this near touchline. Tikadua will try and find a way through. He's dealt with. It's a horrible pass into midfield, which is knocked on.
See, they just get excited and forget to do the basics.
Philome Namumu will hang his head in shame when he sees that one again. There was nothing redeeming about that pass from the number 13.
Just all these unforced errors coming out of Elizabeth.
Unforced errors, too many penalties. But still 31 points to 0 up. So we're in definitely bonus point.
Bonus point, but that really should not have happened.
So what we do know is that you will end up ahead of either Burnside or Onkaparinga today.
So
whatever happens.
We're definitely going to be moving up to third.
You'd definitely be in third.
It's just whether or not we hit second.
And second would require a draw.
Yes.
Well, stranger things have happened. Seau again, trying to work towards the 22. Does well to fight to ground, but
and
again,
he's lost it.
Just a little bit too upright, but not releasing.
Not releasing.
Penalty, I feel like that was... a little bit unfortunate. Body height and body shape. Oh, it was... Yeah, it's there. It's definitely there. University do kick into touch, but again, you've just got to find touch. Just make sure that don't worry about too much about distance, especially if your set piece is working. But honestly, the lineup
have not been
set
great.
pieces today by both these sides has been ordinary. Oh, they finally managed one. That one was much better. Liebers looks for the wraparound. I think Navarro was lucky to get away with that knockdown. University again, just trying on that far side. Mussered again just comes back and does what he always does, make sure the ball comes back into black hands. Redfern just not managing to bring in enough of the defensive line. Seau again, very, very upright on the way in. Thomas, Liebers, flat ball, steps back inside, beats the first one, can't beat the second one. Little bit isolated. Penalty. Offside.
Offside again.
And I think this goes back to what we were talking about in the first half. That at 31 points to 0 up and such an advantage in broken field rugby, I don't see there's a reason for you to be pushing that offside line. Good touch finder this time from Thomas.
Elizabeth have 2 subs coming on. Ryan Young.
We'll pick them up as we
and number
get
3,
through.
who should still be on their list.
Fanua. Well, they both put a shift in. I think that's Saili who's coming off.
And
Siley.
Paul, yes. Straight over the top.
A turnover in the line out, and again it's leading to this free-flowing rugby that Elizabeth play.
Where's the support?
And they just end up behind the gain line so quickly. Better continuity from the man in blue and red. Scully, nice offload from Scully. Welcomed himself with somewhat of a fanfare. Fanua.
He
Gone
wants
backwards. All very mucky, but we're still playing.
Yep.
And again, we see the offload from
there goes Sean.
And Sean Dickinson doesn't quite get
No,
there.
he did not make it on the turnover.
Well, defensively,
Oh
that is
word.
some heart from Adelaide University, but they have to find touch with this kick now. Can't see the red boots of Thomas back in the pocket just yet. There he is. Does find, and they want to go quick. They do go quick, and this is the problem that they're going to face.
Left a big overlap.
Healy
Oh,
can't quite get away from Agnes. Just hopefully over the head.
Just
We're into
throwing the
15-man
ball
sevens
randomly
at the
everywhere.
moment. Tikadua looks for the offload again. Finds the offload. Just stops and happy to reset Tikadua. Dickinson. Just straight line, and again look for the offload. Pops up off the ground, still going back. Now a little bit of a knock on. And Adelaide University. But even when you do find touch, they went quick.
Adelaide University got really lucky there. And the speed to go after Sean, catch him just before the try line.
So they could face the same problem, and Thomas has to find touch again. Again, you would sacrifice distance just to not allow them to go quickly. You see that Scully is ready, and again he then has the option of Daniel Healy in 15.
Oh, another bad delivery.
Just doesn't quite make it, and it is going to come back,
Oh,
and it's going to come back quickly.
that is
Didn't
poor.
even make it outside of the 22. Can they get there?
Abisa.
He does get
Abisa
there.
win.
Delivery from the back of a set piece has destroyed Adelaide University today. I think
That
it would
was
have been
deeply unfortunate.
so much better and so much closer in this game if they just managed to hit the ball to hand. Hardest one of the day for Mr. Healy.
Well, if they're gonna score, make them score in the corner.
36 points to nil. With the kick to come. It's on its way, you know, if it's got the legs. It does have the legs.
Oh,
Flags go
that is
up.
fantastic kick, Daniel.
He's having a man of the match performance, and that's, with all due respect, unusual for someone coming off the bench.
I didn't think Daniel would be playing today, given his bad ankle.
Oh, so that's the reason he didn't start, is there an
Yeah.
ankle injury? Again, they're going to look for Liebers, you would think. That one is not contestable. Straight into the hands of the dangerous Navarro. Manages to get away, and the offload is there again, and then the kick through. Now it's a foot race. Adelaide University winger has shown that he's got a fair bit of gas behind him. Well, he kept it
That-
in, and
that
Scully
kept it
manages
in.
to get the offload to Tikadua, who goes under the posts. I think he saved it from going into touch and goal. I think you just
Really
fall on
should
your
have put
sword
that
at
up.
that
Really
at
should have
that
pushed
time.
him
And
into touch.
you can't deliberately push it into touch. It was actually a really, really good kick. Again, we are watching the replay, but we are slightly delayed. But he shows he's got a good turn of pace, the Adelaide University winger.
That is quite some speed from
And
James
he's just
there.
bobbled it. So he would have kicked it in goal, and then he's just lost it. Don't think he tried to keep it in. I think it was just unfortunate. And
he
then
just fell down.
Scully gets the offload to Tikadua, who has the very easy task of running it under the posts. And Healy again adds on the extras as we
Very easy kick
edge
for him.
closer to the half century for Elizabeth. And now we start to see Adelaide University very slowly make their way back to halfway. I mean, just the question of what if Elizabeth had been better disciplined in that first half? What would we be looking at? Still not a contestable kick, and if they just keep kicking like that, that's really good from Liebers again. Really taken to rugby union like a duck. Oh, no, he played in England, sorry. It's not one of the footballers. But now things are going to start to open
that
up,
was
you
a
would
poor
think.
pass.
And Dickinson is going to have to chase back, and Blaze is going to put him under a little bit of
Blaze.
pressure. And Dickinson managed to keep it
Oh,
going
he's-
backwards.
Kept it alive too.
Got away with that. And a very, very rare clearance kick, you would think, from Elizabeth. It's going to find its way to Redfern. Redfern will ease through the gears.
Oh,
Penalty. Offside. Again, they've put themselves under huge pressure, and Liebers decides he wants to go
There
and
it
does
is.
go. And Liebers
There
scores.
it is.
If there is anybody in an Adelaide University jersey that deserved to try, it was Rafe Liebers.
definitely. He has been fantastic all match. And once again, Elizabeth's poor discipline biting them.
Again, well, there's absolutely
An
you're
unnecessary
45 points
offside.
to nil. Why are you offside?
They've just not disciplined today.
There's no earthly gain to be playing right on that offside line at the moment for Elizabeth. I mean, once you hit sort of 10 offside penalties, you need to take a step.
And converted.
Chipped over by James Agnes. Played 150 games last week.
No,
I think
number
it was.
14. Name withheld.
No, it is James Agnes. I recognise James Agnes. Aggers?
No, James Agnes is in 11.
No, that's not James Agnes.
Oh, is it not?
No, that is James
So
Agnes
then-
in the 14. I
It's
don't
got
know
their
who
list
the
wrong?
11 is. Yeah,
Fair enough.
as per usual.
What are those lists for again?
I don't know who it's for. Certainly not for me. It's not a bad restart from Healy as well. Just a little bit too deep. University have to build from a long way out. It looks like Scully's been replaced as well.
Yes, Josh
With
came on.
Josh Zeline.
Josh Zealand.
Dar will send it out on that far side. One suck up, one suck down for Josh Zealand. I'm not sure whether that's a conscious wardrobe choice or just an accident.
Doesn't quite have the cast to keep them up.
We'll have a look and see whether we can see him again in the year and see whether that is the case.
And turnover.
Oh,
Unlucky.
penalty.
And off.
No, in the side.
In the side, there it is.
Tell you what, if I was coaching this Elizabeth side, I'd be issuing my own yellow cards right now.
I'm kind of surprised that
I'd be saying we don't
one hasn't
deserve to be
given
playing
out.
with 15.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't been carded
I'm
yet.
amazed that you haven't been carded, to be honest. I mean, I can't remember 5 or 10 minutes of rugby. That's a great take from Agnes. I mean, he's lacking support, which is understandable. I don't think anybody expected him to get there. And then the little knock on.
Which is actually good news for Adelaide Junior, given how strong they've been in scrums.
Like I was saying, I don't think I remember 10 minutes of rugby which has not been punctuated by a university, an Elizabeth penalty.
I don't think there has been 10 minutes. I don't think there's been 5 minutes we've made it through without a penalty of some description.
It is a big scrum and it's one against the head for Uni, but the only scrum, well, they've had a couple of holding on at the breakdown and 2 scrummage penalties.
Just completely powered through the Elizabeth scrum. There was no resistance there.
Healy again will drive Elizabeth into, or not quite,
Halfway.
into Adelaide University territory. Very, very close, but not quite. Short, sharp line out, and they're away again. Out the back to Healy, then looped over to Zelen.
There's Josh Zeeland.
Zeeland does his job. Navarro again gets his hands free, gets the offload away. Suso couldn't keep his feet into touch. Big go he does. That's the question of Brett Howard, but no, your feet were in touch, young man. It will be an Adelaide University lineup, but so as we were talking before, we made the point that Navarro made excellent yards after the initial contact. Once you realise how good his offload game is, a lot of the time you'll just try and stop the offload, which will mean that you're not really completing your tackle. Levers again, who's had an outstanding game. Thomas.
Happy Navarro is truly been a wonder. This is his first season with us, and he's truly been a wonder. He's helped us tremendously in our victories over every other club.
Redfern makes good yardage. Sonnenberg. Again, the delivery penalty. Offside.
Yeah, he knew he did that one. Like you could see him wave to the ref on that one.
I feel like I need a soundboard. And just press a button to say penalty, Elizabeth offside.
It is getting a tad ridiculous, isn't it?
Because, like I said, there's absolutely no need for you to be offside. With all due respect to Adelaide University, they're not causing you a big enough threat to the gain line to even contemplate being offside.
Instead, we're just letting them kick it into touch, and that's how they're getting their meters.
Thomas held for Levers,
that
and
was
now
well
they
done.
do get away. That's suggestion that that's high and over the shoulder, but no harm, no foul according to our referee. Thomas, Blaze, tries to find a way through. Wrestled to the ground eventually. Sonnenberg will try and take control at the back. Dar instead will find a way through, and again Levers will just rock and roll his way through forward. Mussered not quite good enough for him. Dar will clean it up. It has gone backwards.
Oh, that was real messy coming out
Thomas,
of that
it
rock.
was, but still in Adelaide University hands. It's come out Elizabeth's way, and I'm amazed that was allowed to go on.
Not releasing.
Which way? Yeah, I mean,
shock.
So the talk has obviously run out. Redfern can't quite get there. Gets the offload away, and again, not quite there. Not held. Penalty. Someone has to go. Can't be another warning. I think it is going to be another warning. So you got a warning in the first half and a warning in the second half.
Yeah.
Very generous.
Even I feel like there should be a yellow card at this point.
That's what I'm saying. If I was coaching Elizabeth, I'd go and take somebody off for 10 minutes. Don't deserve to be playing with 15 at the moment. And Uni have asked for the scrum.
Smart choice.
Fairly decent blindside over here. And like we've said, the number 11 for University has pace to burn.
It has.
It's not the natural way to go blind, though. Normally you would go left to right when you wanted to go blind. But I think you could get away with it. They've decided to go open. Thomas drops Levers inside, and he is met. Sonnenberg trying to burrow his way through. Can't quite get through. Still in the University hands. They look to pick and drive, but defensively very, very strong. And lost in the offload. Doesn't quite go to hand. Healy does manage to tidy it up. Now they can play what resembles rugby. Back into the pocket for Healy, and he will clear.
Another good kick.
See whether we can find any news from around the grounds. Whether there's been any update. Onkaparinga still winning 30 points to 24.
They've opened that lead.
Souths have opened up a lead against Old Collegians as well, which is probably another one that we needed to watch.
Old Collegian are having a
shocking
tough
season. See out. Met hard, and they looked after him in the challenge. He lifted him off his feet, but it was about it. And again, they just find themselves really pushing that line for an interception. Big loud blast on the whistle. Which way is his arm going? I'm going to say offside Elizabeth early. Guess. I've got an offside Elizabeth early call.
Yes.
There it is. Mr. Benja saying well picked. I mean, in fairness, the odds were in my favour. So now Bastain will come over to try and kick to touch.
And that
just rounding
kick
off
from Daniel is completely negated.
Rounding off Brighton 50 points to 21, so they'll and Burnside. There are words that you don't think you would have said last year.
I know.
Again, Elizabeth are managing to come away with
pushing through there.
A University ball. He's through again.
Go on, Happy.
Well, he just kind of let that one go. More in
Even
hope
there was
than
no one to pass to.
More
the
in,
offload.
More in hope than expectation, you would think. Dart, a little bit of man and ball for Dart. Does very, very well to soak that up. That's a little bit of a snipe. He's hit hard for his troubles. Sonnenberg. University look for a short channel. The counter ruck. come right through. Got to leave the halfback alone. And another penalty.
How many more is the ref gonna?
I mean, even though it's not in the red zone, they had a warning in the first half. They've had a warning in the second half. We've had 3 penalties since the warning. I don't think he's found touching it. Oh, he has. It's a great kick.
How nice of them to put the short guy in to catch the ball.
Yeah, I like Matt Mooney as well. I think it could be a tactic from Matt Mooney as well to be point of the ball and get a hand on it as soon as you can to prevent Elizabeth going quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a better option for them going to the back and Dart. Thomas to Levers. It's all very lateral. A little bit of forward injection from Bastain. Slow ball. Big loud blast on the whistle. We're in the 22. Yeah, he's finally going to his pocket. Who's been the unfortunate recipient?
Joshua took it to do it.
Again, I think last time we were on, he found himself sat in the naughty chair. I think for pretty much the same reason as well. It was just continuous penalties, and he was the one who got pinged.
To be fair, there's been 7 other people it could have been.
You could have just waved the yellow card around, and whoever wanted to go could have gone.
Oh, not the scrum.
What the second? You want to go look at this bed or not?
So his record this year would have been 2 yellow cards, both for team infringements.
Yeah.
I mean, there's potentially
that
one is charged down and just didn't quite go to hand, and the knock-on is there. But University will have a little bit of an advantage. Agnes with the offload off the ground. Another penalty for sealing off. So so we've had a warning.
Had someone get a yellow card.
Had someone yellow carded, and then we commit another penalty. The penalty again in the red zone. What?
Do we think
wasn't there a second yellow card?
Do we think our ref's going to be getting talking to?
Look, I mean, he is
the review.
Potentially,
I know the ref is always in the right. That's sort of the point. But
I don't think it would have a massive effect on the game. To be completely frank,
it might make Elizabeth start playing the game properly.
I mean, look, when you get the huddle review of this, you would suggest, as we go, as that one does it, they don't manage to get to the half century, 45 points to 7, in what really was scrappy.
Yes, that is actually the correct word for it. Scrappy.
I think I am going to try and get Mr. Dickinson again to have a chat with him after the game, and I think you know what I'm going to talk to him about.
Oh, as well you should.
I mean, again, we talked about what if they had managed to get, if their discipline was better. You could ask
the same thing of Adelaide University, as what if their deliveries were better?
Oh, same. I mean, that is. I certainly think we would have seen. Well, I think if Elizabeth had managed to
not give away so many penalties.
I mean, that is the most number of penalties I've seen in a game of rugby.
That was a truly.
I mean, I think we'd be up around the 50 mark, wouldn't we?
I think you're looking at 45 to 7 penalties.
That's the penalty count.
Yeah.
I'm going to struggle to disagree with you at that point. We might leave Sean Dickinson because they have a lovely tradition here at Elizabeth where they all line up and they give a speech. So we will leave you. We don't know. I don't know who we're with next week. Keep an eye on Facebook for who we're playing, who will be live streamed next week from a chilly Wammer Reserve. As usual, my name has been Dave Webb. I was joined today, making his debut, Oisin Heaney. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, we'll have you back, which is always a...
No, because I will be on the pitch next time.
Okay. Well, but hey, here's some more Elizabeth, and we think whatever happens, unless there's something incredible happens between Onkaparinga and Bankside and they draw, Elizabeth will finish the night, and they will finish round 7 in 3rd place.